Nostalgia can simultaneously be a good and bad thing. Some of the most important things to consider when revisiting your childhood or even experiencing cult hits for the first time is most definitely context. The reason I'm bringing this up is because the very critically and publicly polarizing Shenmue 1 and 2 are finally available to play on the PS4, Xbox One and PC. More on the nostalgia angle later in the review, as this is pretty essential considering those who are willing to play Shenmue 3 as it releases later next year. Shenmue tells the tale of Ryo Hazuki as he travels in and around Asia to avenge his father's death at the hands of the mysterious Lan Di. Along the way, he meets a colourful cast of characters to help and or hinder his attempts to throw down, and finds through the power of the dragon and phoenix mirrors that he gets himself caught into a generation-long struggle that has claimed many lives. As the name suggests, Shenmue 1 and 2 chronicles the events spanning Ryo's exploits from his hometown to Kowloon in Hong Kong and even Guilin in China. What makes it so genre-defying is its incredible realistic depictions of its geographical locations and real-time mechanics, prompting you to complete objectives or acquire clues throughout specific times in the day. Its foundations had inspired many games to explore time-sensitive and comically mundane objectives to truly create a living, breathing, urgent universe. Some games that come to mind that are inspired by it include Deadly Premonition, Dead Rising, or even Sega's very own sister series, Yakuza. You know, the franchise I personally cannot shut up about. However, being on modern consoles, the general implication with re-releases or remasters are that they are touched up and revised for a new audience and subsequently deemed the definitive version to play. Unfortunately, in its current form, Shenmue 1's remastering is far from fantastic. Due to the resources at hand, the remaster team were unable to provide audio or visual fidelity that was passable. Most cutscenes change aspect ratio without warning and can be pretty distracting, especially around really tense quick-time events. And audio is ripped straight from the Dreamcast version, and the better your speakers are, the more glaring the discrepancy of quality is from main characters all the way to the NPCs in each town. However, as most assets from Shenmue 2 were taken from the original Xbox version, audio quality is improved significantly and feels like a more all-rounded product in comparison to Shenmue 1. I personally find Shenmue 2 to be a better narrative and thematic experience because Ryo kind of like feels more like a fish out of water once he's forced out of Japan all the way to Hong Kong or China. But I really hope for Shenmue 1's sake that it's patched further down the line to address the visual issues, because despite the audio assets that can't really be improved because, you know, the assets, the original ones, were actually lost, the first game's remaster definitely deserves better than the treatment it's got in its remaster. As its cult status implies, I'm not really going to mince words here. You're either going to fall in love or loathe Shenmue as a series. As this particular remaster is lacking slightly in production value and quality, I fear a lot of new players are going to be experiencing the series for the first time in a negative light, or they're going to get the wrong idea. And when I mentioned context earlier, I really emphasize its importance here. Keep in mind that many leaps and bounds in controls, open world design, and time mechanics have been pioneered and improved by more recent games over Shenmue's 20-year legacy. So Shenmue might be slightly dated by today's standards, but as long as you're pretending it's the late 90s while playing it, I'm sure you'll still find Shenmue 1 and 2 to be enthralling experiences in their own right, even if you consider it as a proof of concept for many open world titles released after the Dreamcast era.